Hey, what's up? This is Seth Green, and you are listening to Somewhere in Vegas with Mark, and I am so hot, I would desperately like a glass of water. Please, please, give me some water.
This is Cindy Preston, and I'm with Mark on Somewhere in Vegas.
Hi, this is Melissa Peterman from CMT's The Singing Bee and the television show Reba. And I have to tell you, I just have to get it off my chest, I love Somewhere in Vegas with Mark.
Hi there. This is Faith Roscoe from General Hospital. You're listening to Mark on Somewhere in Vegas. And you better watch out. We know how to find you if you're not listening.
Hi, this is Shannon Egan from Whippet, and I love Somewhere in Vegas with Mark.
Hey, this is Lee Allen Baker with Somewhere in Vegas, talking with Mark with a Q.
This is Courtney Cronin. You're listening to Somewhere in Vegas with your host, Mark, and I would make sure to listen every week because he's a sure bet.
Hey, this is the Money Man, Eddie Money. I got 2 tickets to Paradise, and it's, you know what? It's Somewhere in Vegas. And what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Hi, this is Crystal Gale, and I love Somewhere in Vegas with Mark.
Hi, this is Terry Nunn from Berlin, and you're listening to Mark Somewhere in Vegas.
Hi, this is Miracle Lori from Joss Whedon's Dollhouse. There are 3 flowers in a vase, and I'm listening to Somewhere in Vegas with Mark.
Hi, this is Erin Hill, and you are listening to Mark on Blog Talk Radio and Somewhere in Vegas. Mark is a great guy.
Hi, this is Sean Pulaski. I'm still trying to figure out Mark Pico's sexuality, but I know you're listening to Somewhere Live in Vegas.
Here you go, Mark. I'm sorry. I thought you were she. I'm sorry. Get out of the tent. Let's get out of here.
Hey, this is Lance and Anna from Free Radio. And Anna?
And you're listening to Somewhere in Vegas.
Yes.
My favorite.
You know, that's usually what happens with me. I go to Vegas and I get lost, and so I end up somewhere in Vegas.
Somewhere in Vegas.
But I just don't know where it is.
Not quite sure.
Yeah, word.
Get ready. It's going to be hot. It's in Vegas. Check out Mark. Be there or be square.
My guest at this time is very, very busy. I mean, he has an album that's current, 2 albums that are currently out. How the Times Have Changed into Dreams, or HtTHCxDREAMZ with a Z. Also, he has a new album out that's just dropped called Paranormal Frequencies, and he's got a 3rd album that's coming out on April 16th called Phazes. We have Zach Mack on with us right now. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I mean, to say that you're busy, it's got a kind of insane as well. I mean, how has it been for the past year? I mean, obviously with the pandemic, it seems like you were really, really busy.
Yeah, well, I mean, between work and everything, I would kind of just come home from work and then just work on music, because music was always my passion. So it was kind of, even when the beginning of like the whole lockdown and everything first started, like my hours started getting cut, and then like, so the beginning of like last year is really when I started hammering on, like working on stuff and just trying to create as much as I possibly could. But How the Times Have Changed, that album kind of came together pretty quickly within probably like a month. I was playing a lot and I was just trying to get stuff off my chest.
Yeah, obviously there was probably a lot of stuff that was kind of on the back burner, just waiting on the time to do it, and it just seemed like the timing was perfect.
Oh yeah. I just kind of recorded everything pretty quickly too, which was nice. It was nice to be able to have the time to do that and get it all done. Now
you're telling me when we were off air that How the Times Have Changed into Dreams was actually a remaster, because you had the original. The original was more of an acoustic thing. Kind of tell me a little bit about the experience for you to, want to go and remaster that and to kind of reformat that album.
When I did How the Times Have Changed, which was the original acoustic version, it was pretty much done within a week, because I spent a couple nights just sitting in front of my microphone with my guitar, and just kind of, some of the tracks were just improvised on the spot. Like I didn't write them. I was just kind of getting stuff off my chest. But there were a couple songs, older songs, that I wrote a long time ago that I kind of just put on the album too. But I wanted to make an acoustic version of it. And I was like, oh, kind of a stripped down version. Like, this would be cool. But then after I put that all together, I kind of was listening back and I was like, there's so much I can do to these. Like, because I kind of play a little bit of everything. For me, it was kind of going to be a fun experience to just play over these tracks again and just see what I could do with them, see where I could take the potential of these. kind of make them as full as I possibly thought I could, just kind of make cooler versions of them. And then I just ended up, during those sessions, I recorded like some extra tracks. I forget how many, like 6 maybe. And I was just like, oh, I'll just put these on too.
But nice. How many
instruments? It was a cool experience. So I played guitar, I played bass, I play piano, I sing. Kind of started to learn sax at some point, and I actually sampled myself playing sax for one of my older songs. But yeah, I kind of play a little bit of everything, and then I sequence the drums myself. Like I have a little drum machine that I use.
Yeah, going into a track, and producing a track like that. I mean, do you go from a drum beat first and then kind of build off of that, or tell me a little bit about that process?
Well, usually I'll just start out, like lately what I've been doing is just, again, sitting down with my acoustic guitar and just singing, seeing what I can get off my chest, and then it's just like, oh, I'll just add drums to this. Like, I'll add a beat to it, and then it's like, after the beat's down, I'll add bass, or sometimes vice versa. It's usually bass or drums first. And then I just put on any other instruments I would think would be cool.
When it comes to writing a song, I mean, do you have like, a set of lyrics that you have in mind, or is it a situation where you kind of get the music down first and then start to think about the lyrics later?
Well, I think I like just like singing a lot of like just whatever's on my mind, trying to like sing something that just like sounds nice with the music. But I also have like I write down a little bit of verses here and there, and I'll just pick through, but like some of them are super old. Like I have a lot of recycled lyrics that I'll use throughout like my music, like to kind of build a theme. Like this Boxman and Martian idea I had like a while ago. It was like I did it on one of my first albums. It was like 8-track picks 1, I think. And it was an old song I wrote. It was like a drawing I did of a Boxman and a Martian, and I had wrote a song next to it. And then one day I just like went through my notebook and I saw that song, and I was like, oh, this will be cool. So I started kind of using that theme in some of my music, I guess, older stuff.
With that in mind, I mean, tell me a little bit of your thought process in terms of ordering your tracks on your albums. I mean, it seems like there is a certain you say that there's a certain kind of theme for every album that you put out and song and all that as well. But tell me a little bit about your thought process and in selecting what track goes first, what track goes second, etc.
So for like How the Times Have Changed, there was this one, like it starts off with I Don't Know Nothing. That was supposed to be kind of like an intro of like, I don't know anything. But like I don't even know how to explain it. It was just kind of like, it started off with that and then just went through Don't Go, which was kind of just like this whole like kind of heartbreak song. And then there was like What to Do, which is like trying to figure out what to do, because I just tend to go through all the songs and just see how I can kind of make them into like a storyline in a way. But the thing is like that album had so many songs, so I ended up just kind of jumbling them around at the end. But I put Dreams at the end to kind of merge it into a new direction I was going with some of these albums coming out.
To talk a little bit about, kind of some of your background. I mean, kind of first of all, some of your influences growing up, some of the people that you listened to.
Oh, well, I listened to a lot of different things, but I listened to a lot of Bob Dylan, Grateful Dead, like a lot of classics, The Doors, Pink Floyd. When I was doing this album, I was listening to a lot of like Mac DeMarco, Bob Dylan again. Mac Miller too is a huge inspiration to me in all my music. Like absolutely, definitely one of my top. I listen to a lot of Portugal the Man. Just like there's just so many. I can't even. There's so many. Sublime, huge inspiration.
How's it been for you to kind of experiment with? We talked a little bit earlier about all the instruments that you've kind of experimented with and some of the sounds of all that as well. Kind of being kind of almost producing, and trying something, or kind of almost like a chef trying to make a dish. You're trying to, tell me a little bit about that, and that time when, at times when you get that kind of aha moment that you need something and it ends up being perfect.
I started off making like electronic music when I was like 11. Originally, that's what I was just doing. I was just using my computer, like sequencing stuff. Then I just picked up a guitar when I was like 13, Then I realized I could record myself. So then I kind of just experimented with like sampling myself playing guitar and kind of messing around with the samples. And I had this weird experimental thing going on when I was like 15 at some point with genre wise. It was weird, but I can never tell when I was done with something. So a lot of that stuff kind of got lost because it was like, I always felt like I needed to add more. So I never really did anything with it, but I'm sitting on a lot of that stuff. I want to bring it back. Now I just I'll sing. I'll record myself playing acoustic, sing over it, be like, listen to it back once, and then I'll be like, oh, what else can I add to this to make it sound better? And then I'll just make it sound like a full song, and then I'll be like, this is good enough. And then I kind of just had to let go of the whole perfectionist inside of me.
Did you start off on acoustic or did you start off on electric?
I actually started off on electric. I was actually playing like a lot of rock songs on the electric when I first started playing, and then I just kind of started playing a little bit of everything.
About how many instruments do you own?
Well, I have a banjo sitting next to me. I have a semi-hollow body electric. I have a bass. I have 2 other guitars out there, and another acoustic, and another acoustic, and then another electric. And then I have a trumpet that I got at a pawn shop, but I don't really know how to play. Bongos, shakers. I have a lot of just equipment I picked up over the years too. Like I record on an 8-track, which is like mainly what I use. It's like a Tascam Porta-Studio multi-track is what I mostly use.
Okay, $1 million question.
But,
do you have any names for your instruments?
No, unfortunately I don't. That's a good idea though. I need to make a list of all of them so I don't lose them.
Yeah. Now, do you still own the first guitar that you've ever owned? Did you get rid of that?
Oh, I still own that. I actually have stickers all over it. It's a red Gibson SG. My first guitar.
How did you get that? Was it something that you were looking for, or was it something that you found shopping around?
It was a huge surprise. My family took me out to dinner one night, and they were like, "Oh, we have to go get like milk or something." And then they pulled into like the parking lot, and it was a Guitar Center. And I didn't really think about even like, I haven't even said anything about me getting a guitar or anything really, but like I always liked music in a way. And it was just kind of like, they were like, I was like, why are we here? And it was my birthday. I was like, why are we here? They're like, oh, we're going to Guitar Center. Like, pick out anything you want. And I was like, it was crazy. And then I just walked in, I saw that guitar sitting there, and I was like, I want that guitar. So it's always been special.
What's really nice about Guitar Center is that you get to kind of test drive, that you were able to kind of test drive a couple of them and then realize that one's the one you wanted.
Actually, no. I literally saw this guitar and I was like, this is the one I want. This one looks so sick. And then I was like, I'll take it.
Doing all this stuff, all the producing from when you were younger to now, I mean, what was probably some of the big lessons that you've learned in terms of just in the producing side of things?
I've just had a lot of experience just working with other people too. Like when I was in high school, I was fortunate enough they had so many music classes, and I took electronic music 1 and 2 was some of the classes they had. So I was kind of learning in that class kind of how to work with mixing and stuff like that. But I still kind of learn on my own. I learned a lot from YouTube when I first started. It's just kind of all play by ear kind of thing now, I guess. I just kind of see what I can do. I just go as experimental as I can, trying to do something out of the grain, I guess.
I mean, how's the reaction been to your album so far? I mean, have you gotten a lot of international kind of fan base? I know they tend to like, a lot of different kind of music.
I don't really have an established fan base too much yet, actually. I'm still trying to get my name out there as much as I can. Especially that's why I'm trying to drop so many albums as fast as I can, because I'm trying to consistently keep putting stuff out there. Hopefully I can bring it local soon. Love to play some shows.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, things are starting to open up here in Vegas. I know, so other places are starting to open up. So hopefully we'll get music going in these bars and clubs pretty soon as well. I mean, have you had the opportunity before the pandemic to do any performances at all?
I actually haven't live performed yet, but I just